This is Primetime Poulton, keep it entertaining. You already know it. Outworking everybody and he don't ever quit. Talking about plenty comics like Graveyard Shift, Sea Dogs, Viking Wolf, U.S. Assassin. Doing just what he loves, this is his passion. Bring more value to your dollar, no I'm not fronting. That's how just a writer became a moral compass. This is Primetime Poulton. This is Primetime Poulton. Let's go.
Hey guys, what's up? Happy Monday. I'm the Moral Compass, Mark Poulton. Joining me today is Edwin Acevedo, and we're going to talk about his new mailing list for the Ace 2. The original Ace was one of my favorite books. It came out last year, right, Edwin?
Yep, came out early around like February.
Yeah. I loved it. It was right up my alley. Let's check out the chat. We got Nicholas Gear here. What's up, Nicholas? Bullet Ninja Hagelman. We got Amanda B sharing the link already for the Ace. Thank you, Amanda. And we got Good Stuff. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. So before we get into the Ace 2, I want to remind everyone, Graveyard Shift 4 is available on Indiegogo for pre-order right now. We just passed 95,000 today. I was shocked by that. I checked it this morning, and we had just passed 94,000. So thank you for all the backers. I appreciate it. I want to remind everyone, our featured tier is the Blood Bag. That's where you get all the new stuff. The John Malin variant cover to the Volume 3 reprint, Volume 4, and then the supplemental book, which is at the moment 48 pages. It's a Brom story written by Phil Diaz with art by Tommy Patterson. We have a big stretch goal at 325,000, and the supplemental book will get bumped up to 108 pages. It's a long shot, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. But anyway, there are 15 days left in the first half of the campaign, and then we'll go another 30 days. Just a reminder, we do not go in demand. And thanks again for all the support. I really appreciate it. All right, Edwin. For those that aren't familiar with the Ace, what can you tell them about it?
So yes, the Ace is a story about a young man called David Diaz who's trying to figure out his place in life. And one day he ends up seeing a shooting star crash land in a park nearby, and he goes to discover the wreckage, and he ends up finding something that gives him the ability to transform into an armored hero. And the first issue basically takes place 6 months after he's had the armor, when Kula, this bounty hunter from the other side of the universe, tracks him down and tries to take the armor for himself. And spoiler, they throw down, and the Ace is able to outsmart Kula. And the last panel ends with the Ace has his blade up against Kula's throat, and just as he's about to finish him, he hears a voice yell "stop" from behind. And basically, Volume 2 takes place right after that, where you see who is yelling at him and kind of everything that happens from there.
So for those that aren't familiar, Akula is a badass character, a shark character. Any inspiration behind him? Street Shark fan back in the day?
A little bit with the design.
Yeah.
He's mostly inspired by characters like Lobo, kind of like these kind of rebel, actually part of his kind of like I guess you say like his sense of humor and the way he carries himself actually pattern him to a lot of Spike from Buffy.
Okay.
He kind of has like this anti-hero kind of vibe to him, even though you don't really know everything about him. So kind of like to play around with him. So yeah, Kula's been a lot of fun, and actually have a fun little origin story that takes place in Volume 2. Because he's not part of the main story too much. So I want to make sure that people got their Kula fill. So I came up with this awesome little short story that gives you some of his background. It's kind of patterned a bit after Sons of Anarchy. So you can just imagine. So yeah, it's a fun story drawn by How Comics. It's just done killer work, man. Can't wait for people to see it.
That's awesome. What I loved about the first book was, I don't know, it hit me right in my sweet spot. I'm a huge fan of '90s comics, and this had the vibe of like early '90s Marvel books, Darkhawk, maybe a little Nova in there, um, and then just like great '90s artwork. Were you a fan of
Yeah, it's
those?
definitely. Yeah, man, I grew up on that stuff. Darkhawk's one of my all-time favorite heroes. I love the book.
Yeah.
I think the first 25 issues are killer. It does have more of a, I think, Nova
Hmm.
inspiration. I think in these next coming issues. I think you're gonna see more of that. But yeah, books like Death's Head, it's got these funky kind of side characters that a lot of people don't really know about. But if you actually were following them when they came out, you thought they were the coolest thing ever. So definitely try
Uh-huh.
and take that vibe from them.
That's awesome. I'm gonna open up the mailing list page, and what can people expect from the new campaign?
It's gonna fairly the same format the first book had. That's gonna be the main
Hmm.
story, drawn by Canales. This tells you that, like I said, it picks up right where the first one left off and continues the story. Then you have a short epilogue by drawn and colored by Sweens. That's a bit of a mystery piece. Each epilogue is gonna kind of build one until the other until everything kind of gets revealed later down the line. Then you have the origin story. The last issue had the origin of Angelique, who's the main villain in part two, and this one's gonna have an origin of Akula, back when he had two legs and not two robot legs. So
So you mentioned Canales. How's he doing? I haven't seen him around. I could just not know what his new Twitter account is because he seems to have a new one every time.
yeah,
Every
no,
time I
he's
turn around.
he's mostly on Instagram uh,
Yeah.
these days. He's still doing the YouTube thing, but yeah, man, he's busy, man. He's working on a lot of projects. He's a busy man, so he's still out there grinding, doing this thing.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I
I
always
can
said
get
he
on
was.
some streams with him soon.
Yeah, I was always said he was the hardest working man in Comicsgate. It seemed like he had you know, 6 or 7 books coming out a year.
Still going,
Yeah,
putting
it's
out
awesome to hear.
every couple of months a new Canales book will pop up. So
Yeah, I'll have to look for him on Instagram. So when you have the mailing list up, I saw in the chat, uh, General Piggy, when does this drop? When do you expect to launch it?
yeah, the Indiegogos are gonna launch on April 24th. Uh, want to make sure that everything is finished with this
Hmm.
book ahead of time, like the first one was. So it cuts
Yeah,
down on the shipping and the headaches and everything. So yeah, April 24th, it should be all ready to go. Right now, the book is 20 pages, or let's see, 20, about 24 are colored. It's a 32-page book.
hmm,
About like 16, I think, are lettered. So we're making a pretty good process. So I expect all of that to be taken care of by the time April comes around. Everything
yeah, that's
should be
awesome.
all set to go.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Me personally, I like to have as much of the book, if not all of the book, done before I launch, just because it's less headaches. To promote a campaign and also try to manage the production of it is can be pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be a big headache, and you don't want to really be dealing with that while you're on shows trying to
Yeah,
promote and stuff. And I like the ability of people knowing that like the first one, it's pretty much ready to go. So even if there's delays, there's paper shortages, whatever the hell's going on, you
yeah.
know, you can always give yourself some room to pivot and still get it out in a reasonable time.
Now, this is your second campaign. Is there anything you learned from the first one that you're implementing into this one?
Yeah, I think I've learned a lot. First thing is, I think I've just gotten better as a writer, storyteller. It was my first book. I've actually written more stuff after that, and I think the script for volume two is tighter. I think everything kind of, I made the main story longer. The first one was 17 pages. This one's gonna be a full 24 that Canals is doing, and I just think I just feel more confident, really, in a lot of areas, and also kind of
Yeah.
learned how to pace myself. The campaign takes a lot out of you. And I was going so hard. I kind of burned myself out by the time I finished shipping out all the books and everything. I didn't want to stream. I didn't want to do anything. I was like, I'm done. So,
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta learn
something.
how to pace yourself.
That's something I'm facing right now myself. I feel like I've been fulfilling books since May nonstop. Like I started with Sea Dog 2, and then when this all those books were shipped out, the Viking Wolf books had already arrived waiting for me. I fulfilled them, and now I'm finishing up US Assassin. I hope to finish it this week. I have like 100 more packages to send out. But in between that, I made 2 trips to Michigan to sign Graveyard Shift books. So I told my wife I was feeling a little burn out.
Yeah.
But the launch of the Graveyard Shift, the newest book, and seeing all the love towards the book, that really gave me a little boost. Now you had mentioned you've done more writing. I think I saw that you did something for Alterna. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have a story, a short story in there. It came out on a Wednesday anthology. They're currently crowdfunding it right now on Indiegogo. It's issue 18, the one with the Kenneth Rocafort cover.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I have a short story about some Vikings who get caught up in a storm after a raid, and they wind up in a strange land. Just a little kind of intro. It's got amazing art by Avery Butterworth, who worked on Lost Pages with Phil.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun kind of little 7-page story that kind of sets up something in the future if people like it. And yeah, also
Uh,
like I got some other like projects and stuff that I've kind of slowly putting together. I've tweeted out some stuff about it. This project called Bloodbone with Donald. It's just in the early stages. But I do have some. I think I have like 8 pages of that. And we're just kind of. There's more stories that I have. I'll just slowly, as I'm working on the Ace, I'll just kind of get some pages done and stuff, and kind of start laying the groundwork for it. So
yeah. No, the like biggest lesson I ever learned in comics, especially indie comics, was always have something else on the back burner. So it's great to hear that you have other things in the work. How did the story with Alterna come about?
I've been thinking about something to pitch them. They have the open submissions.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been kind of racking my brain for a while, and then did this little Viking story. I'm a big like fan of like the TV show Vikings, 13th Warriors, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, I love that
And I
movie.
wanted
It's
to do something
very
that wasn't like
underrated.
superhero stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, something that wasn't really superhero stuff, but also was kind of more up my alley because I just can't churn out something that I'm not a fan of. And this kind of story kind of came to me. Yeah, and I was kind of like, all right, if I can get the right artist, and then that's when I found Avery, and we just like banged it out and sent it to Alterna, and then heard back from them. Peter loved it, and you know everything kind of worked out from there, man. So anybody out there who's a writer who's looking to get their name out and has like a story, like I said, I think the idea of the anthology, he takes a lot of different like sci-fi stories, a lot of different stuff that if you're into it and you want to kind of get your name out it, come up with something, have it fully done, make sure your letterer is good, and pitch it to them. You never know what could happen.
Now, do you have more planned with these Viking characters?
Oh yeah, I have a whole kind of big grand story plan. I just want to see how it's received first
Yeah.
before I kind of go all out on that. Because like I said, the Ace is really my main thing, and then I have Bloodbone kind of on the side. So anything else I'm gonna take on, people really have to be into it for me to really kind of decide to go all into that.
I love the name Bloodbone. What can you tell us about that?
Bloodbone's like basically this kind of vigilante. It's kind of part Punisher, part Arrow. This kind of big masked badass who's trying to clean up his city, which has been overtaken by crime and criminals after he's been gone for a while. So this guy decides to kind of take his got enhanced kind of abilities, and he decides to kind of mask up and clean this. He can't trust the cops to clean up the city, so
Right.
kind of has to do it himself. It's just like fun over the top, just kind of like, basically it's gonna every other page is gonna have action. It's gonna have like him smashing faces and then stomping bad guys left and right. It's just gonna be kind of ridiculous, but it's a fun story, and it's like I said, it's different from the Ace. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a lot more kind of in your face, kind of just almost every page. Like I said, I'm just trying to write where every other page is almost him just fighting bad guys and just doing like fun, crazy visuals.
No, it
Like I
sounds
said, I'll
awesome.
start dropping more art. Yeah, I'll start dropping more art and little previews and stuff about it. Like I said, it's probably a bit away. I
Yeah.
might do an ash can because I'm seeing a lot of these guys put out ash cans as previews and stuff, and I'm kind of a
Yeah.
fan of that. So if I get enough pages, I might put out an ash can for it later in the year. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun little side thing.
Awesome. Yeah. Sign me up for that if you
Yeah,
decide to do the Ashcan.
yeah,
Sounds
definitely.
like it's something I'd definitely be into. General Piggy says he enjoyed Ace #1.
Awesome, thank you, man.
And we have iMega Arts in the chat. What's up? Thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to get back to the Ace 2, but first I want to ask you, I know you're a wrestling fan. Edwin has you still have your indie wrestling channel on YouTube, right?
Yep. Just got over 7,000 subs.
Man, that's amazing. Congratulations. Did
Yeah,
you watch
channel's doing
GCW The
good.
World last night?
I didn't. I did keep up with it on Twitter. I heard it was a spectacle, to say the
Yeah.
least.
So I'm still working my way through it. I had to go out to a dinner with my wife and son to one of her friends' houses. So I knew I was going to miss it, but I started watching it later when I got home. I'm enjoying it. Of course, I wanted to see it for the Matt Cardona Joey Janela match, and they pulled out all the stops in that match.
Yeah,
There,
saw Marco
there was a
Stunt,
Marco Stun,
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle,
Yeah,
Brian Myers, Smart Mark Sterling. There was a brief turn where I thought Chelsea turned on Matt, but it was a double cross just to trick Joey. So it was crazy. It was great to see the Hammerstein ballroom packed. Congratulations to them. I was there
yeah,
once
definitely.
for a Ring of Honor show a few years ago before the pandemic. Have you ever been there to the Hammerstein?
No, I've never had the opportunity. I would love to go, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool place to see wrestling. Um, Actually, I have a couple live events I'm going to soon. Wrestle Pro February 5th. I believe it's Killer Cross's first match back on the Indies. And then I'm going to AEW in Atlantic City on February 9th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can make the AEW show at the end of the month in February. But
Mm-hmm.
things are kind of on standby until we get closer there. I did go to this local show over the weekend where I saw JD Drake wrestle. He had a
Oh,
great
nice.
match. Yeah, he wrestled Jay Freddy. So that'll probably pop up on my YouTube channel in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Yeah, anytime I post like indie wrestling matches on my channel, they get the best views over my comic stuff.
Hey man, whatever gets the views, I gotta start
Yeah.
using it more to like promote the Ace. Sneak
Uh-huh.
it in there.
Yeah, definitely. Even if it's a
Yeah,
little
and
trailer
then
at the end of the match.
yeah, maybe I'll start doing that. Start attaching the trailer to the end of the
Uh-huh.
matches. See if I can get some views.
So we're almost at the 20-minute mark. Edwin, let's go back to the Ace. For someone who's unfamiliar with it, what do you think the biggest selling point on it?
Uh, Personally, like I said, if you grew up during kind of like the '90s, and then you know books like Darkhawk,
Mhm.
Deathlock, Deathset 2, these kind of young heroes kind of thrown into these crazy situations and kind of learning how to be not just a hero, but learning how to be a man through these stories. I think it's kind of
Mhm.
important to kind of see, as the story hopefully goes on and people dig it, you'll see kind of David's growth as a man. Like I said, he in the book when the book starts out, he's 21, he's just out of college, he's really trying to figure out what his purpose is in life, and then this crazy thing happens to him, and now he's discovered this whole other part of the universe that he had no idea was real. Like in his
Hmm.
world, there are no superheroes, there are no aliens that he knows of. It's a completely normal world until this crazy thing happens, and then now he's got to deal with the fact that aliens are real, and he's got this armor, and people want it, and he has to learn, who he can trust and who he can't trust. So there's just a lot of different things about it that people, I think, like my age and some that found those books after haven't really had for a while. You don't see stories like this being told anymore. It's kind of why I wanted to create the book. I wanted to create a book that you don't normally see from DC or Marvel or Image or anybody.
Yeah, I'm part of a 90s comic book group on Facebook. And one of the moderators today, they posted all the books that came out on this date 25 years ago. And it was just like amazing looking book after amazing looking book. And I posted, we didn't appreciate how good we had it back then, because nowadays you go into a comic shop, you won't see anything like you know Backlash or 90s X-Men or Wildcats, Darkhawk, Sleepwalker, stuff like that. And that, I think that's one of the reasons why I love the Ace so much. It just reminds me of those books that I read in the 90s. Plus, it's just a fun comic, and there can never be too many of them.
No, it's like like I said, another of my goals was, would 13-year-old me buy this? If
Hmm.
he went into a shop and he saw all these Comicsgate books and he saw like the cover of the Ace, would I buy it when I was 13? Because that's what I used to do. I used to go into like
Yeah.
local comic book shop and just look at the covers and then just be
Yep.
like, what's cool? What's there that draws my eye?
Yeah,
And
no.
so,
When I first got into comics, I was basically a cover shopper. Whatever had the coolest covers, I was I was getting. Um, so I see at the bottom, if you sign up for the mailing list, you get an oversized sticker with backing. Uh, do you know what the sticker is yet? And if so, can
it's
you share it?
gonna be. I don't have the art for it. It will be a
Hmm.
new logo that How Comics did the first one. So I'm gonna do a second logo, but he's currently busy coloring the book, so I'm gonna wait until he's done with that to kind of churn out the new logo for the sticker. But yeah, I got the idea from excuse me, Middleton.
Hmm.
He did Grave Robbers, and he has
Yeah.
an amazing like that skull logo that he has on the
Hmm.
book. He did like an oversized sticker of that, and I love that. Like when I got the package, I was like, "This is so cool." So I kind of want to do something exclusive like that. So, like I said, when we get that finished up, we'll start sharing the art for that.
Cool, man. I can't wait to see it. Do you have any plans for stretch goals in the campaign when you launch?
Yeah, like I have a bunch of art and different kind of, I would love to do another kind of metal print like we did on the first campaign. I have like I said, I've slowly gathered up over the last couple of months a bunch of art by different artists and creators. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll definitely have some cool stuff that people can, if it gets funded and it gets to a certain level, people be getting that added to their campaign.
That's great. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about the campaigns, because like once I back, I sort of stop following the updates. So to know what gets unlocked, I don't really know until I actually get the book. So to me, it's like a bonus. I get to see all these things I didn't even know were coming my way.
Yeah, definitely. When you get that package and you open it up and you see all the stuff in there, you're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Some of those
yeah,
cool
that's
surprises.
like I never even knew about like I had back crowdfunded books before Comicsgate, but I swear I never knew about like stretch goals until Comicsgate. I don't know if it's something we invented or not, but I really enjoy them. So
Yeah, I think I've heard about them, but I do know that
yeah.
one thing that Comicsgate did invent was the quality of the
Yeah.
stretch goals. I think people have really stepped up, like the stuff that gives you like a bonus for it. And I think that's the kind of the main difference.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed like not only getting them, but for my own campaigns, like doing them. For U.S. Assassin right now, there's 5 prints, 4 trading cards, and an ash can people are getting, and that's it. Even if you back just the single book, you get that. So I don't know. I love adding extra value to the campaign.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're over the 25-minute mark. Is there anything else out there you want the people in the chat or the people who will watch later to know about the Ace or just your upcoming projects?
Mostly, if they like what they see, please help spread the word. Like when you're one of the newer creators and stuff, it helps when people share your stuff and that give everybody a heads up about the project. You can follow me on Twitter to kind of see about different art and stuff. I usually do any sneak peeks of anything will be on there. So yeah, and also I do have a trailer there that you can play on the
Oh,
mailing page.
let's try it. I didn't even realize. Sorry about that. Let me play the
Yeah,
trailer.
you're good.
That looks great, man.
Thank you. Shout out to
Wow.
Red Gaze for the trailer.
Oh, Red did that. He's awesome. He's done a few trailers for me. Want to point out
Yeah,
we
he's
have
great.
the advocate of the moral compass, Leandro, in the house. He says, "Hail, Acevedo! I bought his book and it is great fun."
Awesome. Thank you, man.
And he will be tweeting it out. Hail to the Moral Compass and the Primetime 6. That's my CGWF wrestling faction, which I'll be over on Breaking Rad tomorrow, calling more matches. It's a big week for the CGWF. Breaking Rad on Tuesday for 2 matches, then my channel Wednesday night for 2 matches, and then Thursday over on the Professionals there will be a Professionals Battle Royal. So lots of CGWF action for the fans. We got Phil Diaz in the house. Hail the chat. Phil has a story, like I mentioned in that Graveyard Shift 4 supplemental. Edwin, I want to thank you for sharing this great looking project. I'm excited for it. Loved the first Ace, And everyone in the chat, make sure you sign up for the book, and please share the link to the mailing list page, because it's our way of getting the word out on our upcoming releases. So, Edwin, what's the plans? Do you have any launch plans for the book? Are you going live on anyone's channel, or you haven't thought it out
Uh,
yet?
I've talked to a couple people. I'm just trying to see how
Mhm.
everybody's schedule is looking. But hopefully, I'm gonna try and get on as many streams that week as possible. So, if you have a channel and you have that week of April 24th open, hit me up. I'm looking to get on as many shows as I can get on.
Sounds good. Leandro said CG is not only a love and hack group, it is also a wrestling group. There were some
Hell yeah.
people out there that made fun of me for having La Pod Gods doing a wrestling show, and look at us now. We're all wrestlers in a video game wrestling league. So, Edwin, thanks again for
Always get the
joining.
last laugh.
Yep, absolutely. That's how the moral compass works. So, Edwin, thanks again for joining me. Edwin, what's your Twitter again for the people?
Yeah, it's at Edwin Aces. You can follow me there for any updates of the Ace and anything else you need to know about. You can slide into DMs. I do have about 20 or so copies of the Ace Volume 1 that are still available. So if anybody's interested, they'll never be reprinted with the original Donald cover. So that'll be your last chance to get them. So,
Will you have a reprint of Volume 1 with the new cover for the new campaign?
yep, it's gonna have a cover by Joe Ball. So
Oh, awesome.
it's gonna be
Joe is
pretty
great.
sweet. Yep.
Awesome. So, you guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton, hit the notifications, and I'll be on Breaking Rad tomorrow at 9 p.m. Everyone in the chat, thanks for watching. Amanda B, thanks for sharing the links, and we'll see you next time.